I want you to taste it.
No, not this. The way you said it and now what you're doing.
Y'all, welcome back to Budget Eats. I am in my natural habitat, and this week we are plugging a new challenge into the old formula. Instead of me doing the shopping, we will be giving Aaron $25 and see what he buys with that money. The question is, will he make or break us? In terms of rules for this week, we are running with $25. I shall have no influence over whatever Aaron chooses to buy, and I am still allowed to use my pantry staples like oils, sugars, and spices. Julia had decided to take mercy on me and allowed me one rescue ingredient from whatever exists in my kitchen already in case Aaron really does me in with his choices during the shopping, but I think we might be fine. After all, the fewer the ingredients, the easier and shorter the work week for me. Hey, Aaron.
Well, I'm not what? I'm not ready to be on.
Are you ready to be on camera now?
Yes, Aaron, June. That's your name.
I have a favor to ask of you for this episode of
I have a favor to ask of you. If I'm gonna be a major part of this, can the top half of my head exist for once in your videos?
How's that, chef? Okay, for this episode of Budget Eats, will you do me the honor of spending $25 for me buying all the groceries that I will need for this entire episode? The only rule is that I have no influence whatsoever over your choices, and you are welcome to f me over as much as you'd like.
Should I pretend like this is the first time I've been asked, June?
Yes.
$25. I get to spend $25 and you have to cook whatever it is I buy for you?
Correct, sir.
Wow, that's a cool idea. Let's do it.
Yeah, okay. So can you tell me a bit if you are concerned, nervous, excited?
No, I don't give a shit. Can I swear in Delish.com? I forgot.
Which I hate, by the way.
A whole coconut on their shrimp.
Oh.
Toast for the douchebags, the assholes.
I am going to try to give you a diversity of things to work with by getting lots of cheap things. I don't have your Budget Eats shopping skills, but I do know what numbers are, and if I see a low number of something, then I'll probably buy it.
Are we going to Patel first?
Yes. Hear me out. 15 packets of ramen, right? 2 benefits to that. Number 1, June doesn't have to do any cooking, and I get to eat ramen all week. There, end of video. Let's see how expensive this is, and then maybe I will start with one of these because you can do a lot with that. This is my first I have to be budget about it. $1.49 or 79 cents. All right, we're gonna go extra budget. Not an English word on this. No idea. Good luck. I'm thinking. Well, the wheels are starting to turn. Now that I have the ramen in hand, it's working.
What's working?
The brain, for once. I'm confident with the ramen. I'm not confident about anything else.
You don't gotta be confident though, you just gotta have fun.
I'm having fun.
Good.
June, okay, here's the thing. June's always making bread. You know, bread-like objects. I don't know how bread is made. I know there's flour and some other things involved. So if we're gonna have bread at all this week, then I think I need to buy it. Pita bread. Oh, cheap. Oh, that's it. Oh, this is absolutely going. $1.10 each. Yeah, I was worried they were all $3. We're doing one of these. So far, we have carbs and carbs. I like the idea of just giving you a big block of plain white cheese to work with and do whatever you want with. I think I'm gonna do the fresh shopping at Mango Rico. This will be more interesting. We're doing this instead of pita.
How do we even cook that?
That's your problem. Obviously we need dessert this week. Yes.
More is better?
Here, we'll give you a strawberry one to work with too. We're at about $8. I think that's a whole week already, so anything extra is just gravy, you know? You could whip up like a 12-course meal with those. I've seen you. Now I think I'm definitely in June's comfort zone here. What I'm looking at is a giant wall of beans. And I know June can take a bag of assorted beans and turn them into anything really. $2. There, I didn't even read it. I just saw the price. June definitely didn't guide me gently in this direction and suggested.
No. I just said it could be interesting.
It could be interesting, I agree, but which one could be most interesting? This one. I won't even put any thought into it. I'm just gonna go in the spirit of the video.
What is it?
Don't know. I'm gonna go in the spirit of the video and just let you go crazy. If it was left to my own devices, I would spend all $25 on hot sauce.
You would just eat hot sauce all week?
I basically do. Oh, I think I gotta do this instead of that other ramen. This looks more fun. There's like a lot going on in here. It's huge. I feel good about that because that was $11.65, and so I thought that if I could get out of Patel with more than half the budget still remaining, that would be a win. So I have no idea what you're going to do with all that. It's mostly carbs, tasty carbs to be sure, but it's still less than half the budget. So I feel good so far.
Good.
Yeah. And so it begins. The world has opened up to me. 5 for 2 apples, $1 bag of lemons. Look how many lemons you get for $1.
Those don't look
Yeah, they look fine. Well, there's some weird spots, but it's okay.
What's your strategy?
If I see something for $1, I'm buying it.
What? That's a lot of things.
Strawberries. You can do a million things with strawberries.
Okay, how do they look on the bottom?
There's some issues, I'll be honest.
Okay. I would like to
doable.
have edible strawberries, please.
I don't think you can really... It's probably the same thing. I don't think you can do much with that, though, other than make it a permit.
Why don't you just leave it up to me what I can do with it?
Good idea.
What you got?
We're going for the $1.49 bag of shishitos.
Okay.
I don't know why these bags of shishitos are always so cheap. They're obviously not the spiciest peppers in the world, but you blister them up, they obviously taste really good.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what June's going to do with them.
Okay.
But here they are. I don't know how to pick a good avocado.
You don't know how to what?
Pick a good avocado. What
What
are we
are
up
we
to?
going to use lemons for?
I don't know. It's so cheap. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.50 plus 11.50. That's $49. I can't do math. It's a good amount of tomatoes for $1. Copyright. 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 Good song though. Copyright. Let's see if I was right. Oh, cheaper than that.
$7.45.
Okay. What are we up to, June?
I can't do math either.
I'm baffled what you're gonna cook. I feel worse now coming out of Mango Rico than I did Patel.
You're doing so
Because
great. You got so much stuff.
It's a lot of stuff, but I just don't know what that's gonna make.
Me neither. That's the fun.
We're just gonna be sucking down lemons.
So Aaron,
Yes.
we've gone to Patel Brothers and Mango Rico.
Yes.
And are we going to third place?
We are. We're going to a corner fruit market called Dollar and Up.
Oh, you're hitting the greatest.
Yes, I hope they do have a $1 bag of bones. Sometimes they don't have it, but I know that is very versatile and useful for me. I do stocks, stews, soups, and then you can use that to make vegetable soups, noodles, ramens, whatever. So yeah, I'm hoping they got it.
Let's go. Did you get your bones?
No, it says $4.59.
Oh no! Find the $1 bag.
$1. Okay, we're
Yay!
good. Yeah, got the bones.
How do you feel about tofu, Aaron?
I support it. I am thinking that I should do some. Let's do firm. I like firm. I gotta be a bit more interesting here with my last few bucks. Really give you a challenge and something to use.
How much money do we have now?
I'm gonna guess about $4. Now I think we've hit upon something. We've hit upon something here.
Please.
Gelatin dessert.
God have mercy.
Do they have pandan, I wonder? Because June likes pandan, and I like
Oh, that's nice of you to consider what I like, Aaron.
Yeah. I don't see pandan, but I do see Jerez sherry flavor.
That's yours.
Yeah, I do.
How much is this?
$1.49, I think. I think it's only right that for an errand shopping week, we finish on something spicy.
Okay.
Yeah.
这个前面拔掉。
Aaron, I am happy to report that with your expert shopping skills, You came to a grand total of $24.97.
That's amazing. I really wasn't adding things up. I was just sort of picking randomly.
We're pros. Okay, so for your 25 bucks, you managed to get 1 bag of pork bones, 1 bag of spicy peanuts, 1 bag of gelatin dessert powder,
Sherry flavored.
1 block of firm tofu, 1 carton of strawberries, which is already starting to mold, 1 carton of Campari tomatoes, also starting to mold,
I love Campari. I'll have some of it now.
1 bag of shishito peppers, 1 bag of 5-count lemons. You got sugar snap peas, not edamame,
I don't know the difference.
and 1 large carrot for 46 cents, 1 huge Kirby cucumber that I'm sure is gonna taste disgusting for 50 cents, 2 avocados for $1, 2 mini sleeves of cookie biscuits for $1, 1 packet of spicy instant noodles for $1.49, 1 14-ounce block of paneer for $4.99, that was our big splurge of the week, and 1 6-ounce box of chickpea cake mix for $1.19.
It was weird.
Thank you. 1 2-pound bag of yellow split peas for $1.99 and 1 packet of plain kakra. I don't know how to say that. I'm so sorry.
I don't know what that is. I forgot that one.
If you know how to pronounce this correctly, drop me a comment down below. Thank you so much. But this is made with wheat flour, palm oil, and salt. So should be a pretty basic starch that we could just use. Hot tip for folks buying $1 produce like strawberries and tomatoes, always look on the bottom of the carton. If you see any kind of green fuzzy, white fuzzy, soft,
That means it's extra delicious.
juicy, extra delicious, extra moldy, and if you're not gonna eat them that day, please take the moldy one out, compost it, whatever you wanna do, just so that it doesn't contaminate the rest of the pack. For the more questionable looking strawberries, I'm gonna go ahead, give them a rinse, trim off the greens, and freeze these as well, just so that they, you know, stay okay for the next few days. These tomatoes, they gots to go. I actually don't know how usable the rest of this pack is, but that one is definitely not.
I didn't look very hard.
Obviously.
I did at all at that packet, really.
This one is definitely going in the trash. It's like half soft. You can feel it's just it's gone. It's left us. The shell is still here, but the soul is not. So that one though, I will wash it and cut it and freeze it. Do you have any thoughts you want to share with the rest of us?
Good luck.
Thank you. So first things first, we know the strawberries and the tomatoes aren't doing well, and so for day 1, I believe we have to cook them immediately. The first thing that popped into my head was, of course, salad. You cut up the strawberries, you cut the tomatoes, you have a salad. But in order to make it more interesting, why don't we add more to it? I'm thinking we take our avocado, we take some of our cucumber, and we blend it up into an avocado crema of sorts to use as our dressing. Additionally, I am super curious what this chickpea cake is, and I think adding a little bit of a starchy component to a salad can make it a lot more hearty. Now, this product is very helpful. It gives you a step-by-step process of how to make it the way it's supposed to be made, but you know, we're not gonna do that. The ingredients in this box is chickpea flour, sugar, salt, rising agents, and turmeric powder. Pretty basic, meaning I can use this for anything I want, including pancakes, rotis, croutons. We're gonna make half of this box with 4 ounces of water. I'm gonna put a little bit of twist on it by zesting a lemon to give it a little bit more of a perfume. They have chosen to put some very active baking powder in here. Very impressive. I am excited. This is what every yeast packet wishes it were. Alas, not all of us can be born stars. Put it into a microwave-safe container, and instead of steaming it like the box is telling us to do, we're gonna go ahead and microwave it with a cover on top. In the meantime, while our cakey thingy is microwaving, we're gonna go ahead and wash our strawberries and our tomatoes, avocados, and cucumbers just so they're clean and ready for prep. After just 2 minutes in the microwave, I think our cake is pretty ready. It's very light, but it is bouncing back, and the toothpick did come out clean, so I think we are done. It's just very soft. I'm gonna let this cool off a little bit, then we'll take a taste. In the meantime, let's cut up our veggies. A cucumber with this many seeds is possibly my least favorite kind of cucumber, but That's why we're turning it into a sauce. No. The peel is extremely bitter and I refuse to do this to myself, so we are slicing it off and composting it. You gotta draw the line somewhere, you know? Suffering is not worth it sometimes. It's always very important to taste your ingredients before you put it into anything else. Oh, wow. That's honestly one of the most bitter cucumbers I've ever tasted. Surprisingly, the only part that is acceptable to me is where the seed is, so we might have to cut around it and not use the bitter part because it just doesn't taste good. If you have any idea why this perfectly perfect looking cucumber tastes this horrendous, drop me a comment down below, please. As I'm yielding so few cucumber pieces from that whole half, I'm just gonna go ahead and scoop out the center where the seeds are sweet and juicy and cucumbery, and we're just going to toss the rest of this cucumber now because mistakes were made. We could not have foreseen. We roll with it. At least the avo looks pleasant, but you know, looks can be deceiving sometimes. Relatively tasteless, but not bitter, so we're good. I'm going to cube half the avocado and put it in here with the cucumbers. We're gonna blend it up with an immersion blender until nice and smooth, plant-based, sweet, creamy, light. We'll fix it up with a little bit of lemon juice and salt, maybe pepper. That's a thick dressing. I don't know if we're doing a cooking YouTube right now or a makeup YouTube. Definitely needs a lot more salt. Ooh, the salt kind of brings out the freshness of the cucumber and adds almost like a little bit of a cheesy fragrance to it. Weird. And for this other half, I think I'm just gonna chop it up, leave it whole in the salad so we have a little bit of contrasting textures. Now I think we're ready to taste this cake. Probably should have oiled it, but it's okay. I had an idea that I wanted to cut little rounds of the cake and plate the salad in a fancy way, so let's do it. Look at how fluffy and porous this is. Can you believe this is gluten-free? Now imagine you took cornbread, mixed it with angel food cake, and you have nylon, come on. It's got a little bit of saltiness to the taste, so combined with the earthiness of the chickpeas, it almost gives off a cheesy vibe, which might work really well with our dressing. Oh, that smells amazing. This smell is almost making me forget that there's a helicopter outside and I have no idea who they're looking for. I just hope it's not me. Anyway, cheers. What? Looks can be deceiving, and this almost looks like a dessert, but the savory flavors here are undeniable and they really get in the way of your brain processing what in the world this is. The way it smells is like if you have a 21st century hippie take Bath and Body Works smells, make them organic and animal cruelty free, summer in a bottle. The taste, however, is a little bit confusing. The cake is a little bit salty, the dressing is a little bit salty, but the tomatoes and the strawberries are all very dessert-like and sweet and light, and I just don't know what can bring them together better. But we do have this packet of instant ramen that is mostly crumbs right now, and I really think a little bit of a savory crunch can save us. I think judging by the looks of this, you'd think we were already on day 5, but no, this is just day 1. Version 2, here we come. A little bit of strawberry, a little bit of cake, a little bit of avocado, and a little bit of crunchy instant noodles. Bon voyage, comrade. Now I understand why this man looks so happy and ecstatic all of the time. These magic noodles are delicious. The noodles are basically fried and seasoned very simply with salt and preservatives, and that little bit of fried crunch really adds richness and seasoning to the entire salad, making it a cohesive bite. Definitely not your everyday salad, but you don't come to Budget Eats for your everyday recipes, do you? It's been 2 years, y'all. Let's be honest with ourselves. As is, I'm gonna give this one a 6.5. It's edible, not super great. I think my tactic for this week is to start low and only go up from here. We have lots of leftovers that I will subject Aaron to when he comes back at the end of today. I think after that slightly disappointing first meal, I'm gonna play it safe for the next round, and we're just gonna make some Instant Pot yellow split pea soup. To begin, we gotta rinse the peas, we gotta soak the peas. Because our Instant Pot will cook no matter whether the beans are soaked or not, we're just gonna plop in about a cup of dried beans, a little bit of water, some steak seasoning, and let it go for about 25 minutes until it's nice and creamy and tender. Now, because I think a bowl of split pea soup is fine and dandy and one of my favorites, it is a little bit boring and lackluster, so we're also going to be stir frying up some shishitos and carrots. I'm thinking we use the spice packet from our delicious instant ramen and see where that lands us. After all, we have Ching's secret. We must use it. I'm not sure what Ching is thinking giving away the secret like this, but this is composed of dehydrated garlic, salt, chili, onion, turmeric, ginger, pepper, a little bit of flour, tomato powder, sugar, and dehydrated vegetables, plus a lot of anti-caking agents. You know, flavor. To prep the veggies, I'm gonna wash the carrots, I'm gonna wash the shishitos, I'm gonna chop them up real small and fine so that they can get a little bit crunchy in the stir fry, and then we'll just go into a pan with some oil, veggies, seasoning. And because I know y'all are gonna comment about where the peels are going, yes, I'm gonna save them, we'll put in our broth, yada yada yada. I'm not saving these though because they can be bitter sometimes. As our Instant Pot still has some time left on it and our stir fry is done and Fred is looking at me like, why are you resting? You should be doing something more. I'm gonna make some croutons with our chickpea cake. We're gonna heat up our griddle, we're gonna chop up our cake into tiny small pieces, and we're gonna toast them with a little extra salt and pepper on top until they're nice and crispy on the outside. I hereby present to you the most perfect crouton. Buttery, cheesy, cakey, delicious. We gotta love a nice creamy soup that creams itself. That sounded really wrong, didn't it? Sorry. Sometimes I wonder if I should be scripting these more, but you know, at the end of the day, you tell me. Yes, I probably should have used a bigger bowl for this serving, but if you let it cool, it'll congeal, and the surface tension is very intriguing to watch. How far can you go before an accident happens? This is a 9, no further words needed. The texture is absolutely perfect for me. Since smell-o-vision and taste-o-vision aren't a thing yet, I will describe it to you. The cake is nice and soft and sweet against the soft, creamy liquidiness of the soup. Then you have the slight little plasticky textures of chew from the carrots and the shishito peppers. A little bit spicy. Everything is nicely seasoned. You have sweet, you have salty, you have creamy, you have crunchy. Thus, perfect textures. I'm gonna go ahead, fix Aaron a little bowl, keep it in the fridge, warm it up when he gets home. As for the rest, we're gonna jar it up, store it as leftovers. Now, I think before we go any further today, there has been one question lingering in my mind, and I must know the answer right now. What the hell does this taste like? This is something that I've never eaten before. I don't think Aaron's ever eaten this before, so I just need to know what we're working with here. It says wheat crisp. Sounds innocuous. We shall see. It also says free tastemaker pouch inside. Where art thou? We have located the tastemaker. The package itself actually does not list any ingredients for the spice packet, only that wheat flour, palm oil, and salt are in these wheat crisps. So we shall taste the tastemaker. Smells very cumin heavy. Whoop. There's definitely hing in here. There's a little bit of tartness like it's from sumac, a little bit of funk from the hing. There's definitely salt, maybe even a little bit of mango powder. I'm not sure, but this is a pretty good chop mix. Now, as for the wheat crisp, I have no idea how to eat this. I'm going to guess it's just eaten like a snack. It looks like a ginormous Pringle. which delicious. It feels very slick and oily on my hand. It is incredibly thin, incredibly fragile, and incredibly buttery and flaky. This is essentially the wheat version of Pringles. No potato, just gluten. It is like infinitely snackable and way cheaper than Pringles. To keep them crisp, we'll seal them in an airtight bag. The next thing I think we have to do today is to cook these bones. We're going to be following Mom's old way of making bone broth, which is to rinse the bones a little bit, put them in a pot of water, bring it up to a slight simmer, dump out that first batch of water, fill it up with fresh water, and then let it boil forever and ever and ever until that bone broth is opaque. I'll be adding in a little bit of salt and our carrot scraps, and that's it. We're gonna keep it pure so that we can season it as we use it. While our stock cooks for the rest of the day, I think we really have to try out our Jell-O powder. I have no idea what it's gonna taste like, and I have no idea what I'm gonna make with it. Now I think of course we can just make dessert with it, you know, maybe I will, but this looks not like your average Jell-O powder, and I'm just very curious what it even tastes like, so let's try it. I also have no idea what they're doing outside. I think they're trying to burn the whole world down, so sorry for the noise. Smells like cherry, not sherry. Ooh, that's delicious. We have sugar, gelatin, citric acid, artificial sherry flavor, salt, sucralose, malic acid, calcium phosphate, something something, FDNC red 40. I truly wish we didn't have sucralose in there. It has basically that Splenda aftertaste, and not a fan of it, but this might be very interesting in some savory things. Now, because I still have some strawberries left over and I really don't want them to sit in the fridge any longer, I think we're gonna chop them up and embed them in some of that Jell-O. I'm going to slice up our strawberries, put a few slices in each of these muffin liners. These are silicone, they'll pop straight out when the Jell-O sets. And we're gonna go ahead, boil some water for our Jell-O mixture. I'm going to squeeze in a touch of lemon to brighten up that sugariness of the Jell-O mixture, and then I think we'll just pour it on over the strawberries and wait for it to set. And off to the fridge we go. Now, I'm sure nobody forgot that Aaron decided to buy me some sweet biscuits, which I have no idea what to do with either, so let's eat one. This smell reminds me of chocolate breakfast cereal, you know, the kind that tastes half like cardboard and half like plastic and like 1/3% like cocoa. Always a good sign when your cookie sandwich is already disassembling itself. We got like an Oreo structure here with a biscuit on either side and cream filling. The biscuit is also topped with little granules of sugar. Okay. The flavor profile here really goes hand in hand with that sucralose taste of the Jell-O, so I don't think you want to know what's going through my head right now. But I'm going to tell you anyway. We are for sure going to end today with a dessert. It is going to involve Jell-O. It will also involve tofu and these biscuits. So I think we all know that berries and chocolate is a very strong flavor combo, and so I thought, how are we going to make these biscuits stretch? How are we going to pronounce their flavor? What better way is there than to mash our tofu into a cream-like consistency and then put this in there and make it into a chocolate cream? Vegan. I don't know if these are vegan though. Wheat flour, sugar, palm oil, cocoa solids. Vegan. Vegan. Oh, not vegan because of the gelatin. Never mind, not vegan. Well, that was a roller coaster, wasn't it? Fred, do you think I'm doing crazy things? Do you think I absolutely should be fired for doing such crazy things? Yeah, I agree. Thank you for putting up with me. Now, I think most of the time you've seen silken tofu used in desserts as a substitute for cheese, cream cheese. And we obviously have firm tofu, which is not at all the same texture, but just because something's not been recommended to me before has never stopped me from doing crazy. We're gonna go ahead and slice this package open, we'll drain it, we'll take out about 1/4 of this tofu, we'll plop it into the Vitamix. Because there is such a low level of ingredients in here, I'm finding it very hard to blend properly, so I'm going to stream in the leftover Jell-O juice that didn't go into our cups, see if that helps. Looks like it truly did not help. So I will move it back into the bowl, wash the Vitamix, and then we'll use our immersion blender. Not bad. Although, now I am thinking that we have this that doesn't have a lot of jello in it, and then this that has half the amount of water we should have in it. So I'm thinking we dump a couple of these cups into the tofu so that we have the tofu set at the same rate as the jello. We're gonna go with a triple decker, so I'm gonna separate out half of this mixture, crumble the chocolate cookies into it, and then half of it will just be tofu strawberry. Not bad. Do y'all remember when like cereal milk was huge? Why didn't anybody ever do cookie milk? This is cookie milk. It's delicious. I have saved 2 cookies for crumbling for presentation because, you know, even if your creation is questionable, presentation still matters. Sometimes if you make something pretty enough, people will believe it tastes pretty too. I'm gonna go ahead and freeze our jello bottoms so they set a little bit faster. Then I'll refrigerate both of our other mixtures so that they set up a little bit faster when we go to layer them later. Dessert is served. I'm gonna be honest with you, I think if this were served to me in the middle of restaurant week, you know, when all the desserts fly around at restaurants, I wouldn't be upset. It smells intriguingly processed. All of that chocolate flavor, all of that berry flavor, it just smells artificial. So, you know, at least we're starting with an honest relationship. Jiggly wiggly. I actually really admire myself for doing this. I am presenting to you 5 distinct textures. We have the jello, we have the fruity strawberry, we have the crunchy biscuits with the cream center, then we have the double-tiered tofu-based jello that's not quite jello. Surprisingly, the chocolate layer is a lot smoother. The plain tofu layer with the jello is slightly grainier, and I don't know why. Possibly because the cookie starches broke down and kind of acted as glue, so it gives you more of a creamy mouthfeel. For the most part, I'm getting a lot of lip gloss flavors. There is that slight waxiness about it in your mouth. But all together, I'm actually quite enjoying this dessert. As you can see, I finished the whole thing. I'm a little embarrassed about that. But you have the very fresh strawberry tinged grape flavored sherry jello. Then you have the creamy chocolate with that little kind of tofu creaminess. Then you have this kind of dry, crunchy, mealy, cream-filled cookie. It's probably not what you were looking for when you started this recipe, but it's what you ended up at, and you're not mad about it, you know? That's what the kids say, right? I'm not mad about it. I'm going to give myself a 9.2 on this because A for effort, June. A for effort. We made 6 of these, and I don't know if 3 of them can count as one meal, but for now, let's just say it's a meal. We all have those nights. As it stands, our bone broth is pretty opaque, smells nice and rich. We're gonna put the heat off. We're gonna put it into jars. I'll meet you back here tomorrow. Aaron has returned. We shall make him taste all the things, starting with the cucumber that he bought first. Aaron.
Why are you saying it like that?
You'll see.
I don't want to anymore after you said it like that.
You spent 50 cents on this cucumber.
Yeah, that's why I spent 50.
I want you to taste it.
No.
I want you to taste it.
No, not this. The way you said it and now what you're doing. I'm not letting that get anywhere near my mouth. No.
Next up, we have a tomato, strawberry, avocado crema salad with cake on the bottom and ramen on top.
I switched to the Allen jersey to let you know and June know that I'm missing the Bills game to taste this.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
Yes. Okay. Cake on the bottom.
Yes,
so it's
sir.
a fruit cake. It's
sir.
a deconstructed fruit cake because the fruit's separate.
Not really. It's not really sweet, but you'll see.
Okay, that's a bite with everything and ramen. Shockingly, that works. My brain was so ready to be disgusted, and then it was like, oh, actually.
I'm so glad you have an open mind.
I would give it a 9, not for pure flavor, because it works, but because of how much it exceeded my expectations.
Holy schmo.
So exceeded, because my expectations were to puke. And I actually liked it, so that's a 9.
Next, we have desserts. Do you remember you bought me Jell-O and cookies and told me good luck? Good luck.
Why is there layers? What is...
Because I put energy into it. They see it.
Well, it's pretty. Okay. Well, sherry flavored Jell-O, now that I'm eating it, I regret buying it. It's not horrible. The bottom layer interests me more.
The bottom layer interests you more?
Yeah, tell me about the bottom layer.
Do you know what the bottom layer is, potentially?
Oh, it's my face.
Yeah, you wanted your face to be in the show.
I did. What's the bottom layer, June?
So the bottom layer is tofu based
Oh.
with your chocolate biscuits ground into it.
Ah, nice. I was hoping you'd do something cool like that.
So the very bottom layer is tofu with the Jell-O mix. The middle layer is the tofu with the Jell-O mix with the chocolate biscuits crushed into it. The top layer is just the Jell-O mix with strawberries.
This is very Michelin-y, which means I don't like it. I'm a famous Michelin hater. My grade is 7.7, a fancy number for fancy food.
Thank you so much. That's higher than I expected. And you liked it enough to eat more than half of it. The final one was a soup, but because it's congealed in the fridge, even after nuking it in the microwave for 2 minutes, it's still kind of solidified. But
Was it soup?
it was soup. Now it is gelled. Anyway,
All right.
it has
Well, it looks good.
It has shishito and carrots on top, and it has some of cake croutons.
Nice.
Yes.
What is the cake made of?
The cake is made of the same cake that you just ate.
The flavor profile is the most normal thing you made so far.
Correct. Yes. It's split pea soup on the bottom.
Oh, split pea soup, veggies, carrots, chili, and some like breadcrumb-ish things. Yeah,
Yeah.
very normal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dump chili oil over that.
Okay.
But my score is 6. I like it the most out of all 3 things, but it just kind of disappoints me how normal it is.
How does this grading system work that you like it the most and gave it the lowest score of the 3? Go away.
It's my
Goodbye.
It's my scores.
Welcome back to day 2. I am hungry and ready to cook. Are you? This entire past year has been me trying to learn how to teach myself how to make life easier for myself. So I saw this ramen and I said, maybe instead of doing something weird with it, we can just cook it as is. So we're gonna do that for our first dish. I was thinking maybe some sort of a knockoff dandan mian, which is a Sichuanese noodle containing lots of little pickles, ground meat, a little bit of spicy chili oil coating every single bit of that noodle. We don't have any of those, but we do have some meat bits, and we do have peas that I can roast and make it into something crunchy and delightful. And, we'll figure it out. I have this package of Chinese pickled radish that is beyond its expiration date, so I think this will be perfect for our dish. One thing that is crucial for dandan mian, Sichuan peppercorns. I have both red here from Mom's house and green ones. We'll grind up both after toasting them. They'll be deliciously fragrant. To toast your spices, small pan, low heat, shaking it often until you smell it. Once you smell it, pull it off the heat, transfer it to a cool tray, let it cool off completely before grinding. For me, there is a difference in smell and taste of the two Sichuan peppercorns. The red one tends to be a little bit more aged, more stately in its flavor and savoriness. The green one is a lot lighter, fresher, more citrusy and floral, which is why I like both of them in my noodles and everything else. In some Chinese dry noodles, there are versions where you have crunchy peanuts or crunchy chickpeas or crunchy peas, and we have a lot of peas, so I'm thinking the first thing we make today is a crunchy pea topping. I have here some of our peas that were soaked and drained so that they're dry and ready for the bake. I'm gonna turn our oven up to 350. We're going to place these in a bowl, toss it with oil, some of our ramen packet seasoning, a little bit extra Sichuan peppercorn powder that we just ground. Toss it all together until it's even, spread it in a single layer on the sheet tray, slide it into the oven, and we're gonna check in on it every 10 minutes or so to make sure nothing's burning. I'm hoping to let them roast until they're nice and crunchy but not burnt. For our ground meat, I'm thinking we take some of the meat we pulled off the bone from our bone broth last night, we chop it up real fine, throw it into a skillet, well oiled over medium heat, let it stir fry with some pixian sauce. Pixian doubanjiang is basically a fermented black bean sauce with a little bit of chili in it, a little bit of flour and salt, very well seasoned, very umami. We'll go ahead and season it with Sichuan peppercorn powder, some white pepper, and maybe a little MSG at the end. As the meat caramelizes in the pan, it is super important that I use my wooden spatula to really lift all of that golden fond off the bottom. That's where the flavor lives, that's where the crispiness lives, that's what you want in your ramen bowl. When you hear the meat kind of crackling and sizzling in a semi-dry, fatty pop way, I think that's when you know it's ready. As always, taste your work as you go. Needs MSG. And I think a drop of black vinegar as well. When you take your peas out of the oven every 10 minutes, it is super important that you use a spatula to kind of combine them and move them around. The peas around the corners and the edges of the sheet tray will bake faster and burn faster, so you want to just incorporate them back into the center and then push the ones in the center out towards the edges so that everyone is cooking evenly. When they look golden and slightly shrunken like this, you're good to go. Depending on your oven, this took me about 33 minutes. Needs MSG too. Since the oven is already on and we have a beautifully seasoned and oiled sheet tray, I'm going to wash some shishito peppers, coat them in that leftover oil on the sheet tray, and slide them back into the oven until they roast to a light charred perfection. We're gonna increase that oven temp to 400 to make sure they kind of get broiled a little bit. Next up, we're gonna boil our instant ramen in our pork broth. To avoid over boiling and waterlogging our noodles, I'm gonna use a very small amount of our broth in a very small pan. That way, just barely, it'll absorb enough moisture. Bring your broth up to a boil, slide your noodles in, cook for about a minute and a half, then pull it and drain it completely. Save that broth, we'll use it later, I promise. Another absolutely non-negotiable ingredient from dandan mian is spicy chili oil. Now, if you don't have any, I have a video, we'll link it somewhere, you can make it at home. For me today, I'm gonna use this jar. It's by Sinsoy, this is not sponsored, I just think it's a really delicious product made by really nice people. Cheers. For our final touch, I'm gonna blitz some of these peanuts, mostly because I just wanna eat them, but also I think this flavor profile will work wonders for the topping. A little sweet, a little nutty, a little spicy, a little savory. Nice. To plate, we're gonna chop up some of these pickled veggies. We're going to top our bowl with our boiled noodles, a little bit of our meat, all of our crunchies, this pickled veggie, and slather it in our spicy chili oil. First thing you do when you eat dandan mian is you mix it all together, which means I probably should have gotten a bigger bowl, but what else is new in life? I have in my life tasted many disappointing dandan mians. This, surprisingly, is not one of them. This is delicious. For one, every lick of noodle is coated in seasoning and just enough grease to make you taste the richness without overwhelming your lips and your mouth with that slickness. The spicy flavor comes through mostly on the edges of your tongue, a little bit numbing on the lips, but for the most part really well balanced with a certain kind of sweetness from the noodles and that nice little fresh crunch from the preserved veggies with the heartier crunch of the roasted peas. Delightful. And of course, who can forget about the chunks of meat that is well seasoned in our doubanjiang. It is salty, umami, very MSG delicious. The noodles being instant are not the best al dente texture, but because we pulled them after under 2 minutes of cooking, they are not soggy. They are soft, slightly mealy, but as you can see, quite a lot of bounce for a lot of instant noodles. My favorite aspect about making this dish for yourself at home is you get to retop your toppings. You don't have to stay with their measly little serving of flavor. You can have it all. Y'all, I think this is the moment. I think this is our 10 for the week. This I am delighted with. You can eat a small serving as a snack or 2 servings as a meal. I'm gonna build Aaron's leftovers, slide them into the fridge, and we can move on to our second recipe of the day. Now that we have our roasty toasty, semi-crunchy shishito peppers, I think we should make a soup to go along with these. Our second dish of the day will be a tofu bone broth soup. We're gonna wash some of our sugar snap peas, we're going to cut up some carrot, we're gonna cut up some tofu, and then in a large skillet over medium heat, I'm gonna heat up some of our bone broth grease. Just the fat that's settled on top, we'll plop it in as our cooking oil. I'll go ahead and sear the tofu and the carrots with a little bit of salt and pepper. We'll add in half a cup of our soaked split peas, and we'll add in our bone broth. I'm going to fold in our ramen cooking bone broth as well. As our soup simmers, I'm gonna drop in 1 star anise just to add a little je ne sais quoi. I'm gonna cover it with a lid and just let it simmer until everything's nice and creamy. We'll taste for seasoning, and then we'll slide in our snap peas just until they are nicely blanched and bright green. Don't forget to take out your star anise. Nobody wants to chew on one of these. Believe me, I've tried. Do not recommend. All they need is a little salt and MSG, and we are seasoned. The snap peas are cooked, the split peas are nice and tender, but it is lacking a little something, so I think I'm gonna sprinkle a little dash of togarashi on top. Togarashi has chili flakes, sesame seeds, a little bit of other spices in there, giving you a little hit of heat, flavor, and texture. Sometimes all you need is a little hit of spice and heat. This is a nice, clean, simple bowl of soup. It's got no other distractions beyond just nice flavors, nice colors, nutrition, and a bit of texture to keep you interested. The smokiness of the roasted shishitos goes really well with the slightly sweetened star anise vibe of the broth, and if you just let it soak in there a little bit, it almost feels like a soup dumpling. For how easy and simple and straightforward this one was, I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I think the flavor payoff, the texture payoff, and the comfort payoff, top notch. Would you like some soup, sir?
Every time you call it soup, and it's not soup.
What, just because there's not a lot of liquid in
Oh,
there?
I didn't see the liquid until now. It's at the bottom. Is it hot?
It's warm.
That's delicious.
I need to serve you some togarashi.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember buying this.
Oh, we've had it for like 3 years now.
That's cheating.
What do you think?
Good.
Try a shishito pepper.
Mm-hmm.
Dip it in the soup. Yes. Yes. Oh, well, don't eat that.
Nice and blistered.
Mm-hmm. You keep looking at yourself in the feedback. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to look at the lens. So
don't
that's
care.
how you do the job. Eyeballs to the eyeball. Do you have a score for me, sir?
I like this better than yesterday's soup.
Good.
because I think I got it fresh.
Yes.
That's a nice thing.
Fresh matters.
My score is, what I gave yesterday's soup, 6.5.
I don't remember anymore. Start anew.
This is an 8
Okay.
because it's about the same level of interesting, I think, as the last one, but I like the blistered peppers. And it's nice and fresh. Overall, really good.
Nice. 8. Thank you so much, Chef. Next up, we have some instant ramen dandanmyeon.
This looks like something from a cafe in Chengdu. It looks really good. I think that I've already decided this is my favorite meal of the week, 10 out of 10.
Me too.
Yes.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Well, I don't need to, I already graded it.
Did you do the mixy do? You know, you have to mix your dandanmyeon.
I know, I just wanted to taste the noodles a little bit first.
How are the noodles after sogging for 3 hours?
Still really good, honestly, like surprisingly good.
Tell me, is this not better than some dandanmyeon that we've paid like $12 for?
Was your question, is this not?
Is this not better than
Is
some...
it not better? So it is, no, it is, wait.
Have we had
Wait.
worse than this?
Yes.
That we've paid for?
Yes.
Yes.
Honestly, this is a 10, yeah.
I agree. I gave it a 10 too. I thought it was amazing.
Holy crap.
I know. I have a meeting in an hour, but I think we can crank out one last dish for today, and I'm thinking we gotta do something with that paneer. As someone who's always found paneer to be a little bit squeaky after being cooked, I'm not sure how much I'm gonna like using this ingredient, but I figured we can make a pretty cool grilled cheese. And yes, I know what you're thinking, June, grilled cheese, you don't have bread, what are you gonna do? You're right, we don't have bread, but you know what we do have? This. This is gonna be our bread. Might it be a disaster? Absolutely. That's why you watch this show, right? To go with the grilled cheese though, we're gonna make 2 sauces. One, we're gonna take what remains of our blistered shishitos and we're gonna blend it with our leftover cucumber avocado crema from yesterday. If it needs a little more punch, give it a little more secret punch. Don't be shy, y'all. Don't be shy. 2, we have this frozen tomato. It is in need of cooking. I already know it's not gonna yield a lot of sauce, so we're just gonna cook it down, flavor it pretty simply, and then serve it along as a dip. You know, the classic tomato soup, grilled cheese vibe. For our tomato sauce, I'm gonna use a small pan over medium heat, a little salt, a little oregano, a little bit of black pepper, and a little bit of our Jell-O. Why, June? Why, you ask? Well, 1, for chaos. And 2, I think our tomatoes need a little extra help in terms of the acidity and sweetness department. This Jell-O will provide us with a little bit of sugar, albeit Splenda tinged. Once it's lost most of its moisture and starts to look a little bit like fruit compote or jam, take it off the heat, put in your lemon juice. To avoid the bitter notes that come with lemon zest, I'm gonna go ahead and peel the zest and then just squeeze it with my fingers to release some of those essential oils into the salsa. Yes, it's a very delicate flavor and it's probably mostly placebo effect, but that was pretty, wasn't it? To grill our cheese, I'm gonna lay our cast iron skillet on medium heat and we'll just slice up our paneer and let it melt. Still pretty tasteless. This particular packaging of paneer has 0 salt added, so we will definitely need to put some seasoning onto this cheese as it melts. In the meantime, I'm gonna lay out our little wheat crackers on a sheet tray and get them ready for landing. I'm gonna sprinkle on a little bit of the flavor maker packet that came with these wheat crackers, as well as Ching's Secret and a little bit of our freshly ground citron peppercorns. The other side gets a little bit of salt and MSG. We're gonna sear them until the bottom is a dark golden brown, and then we'll flip and wait for the other side to get equally golden. Unfortunately for me, paneer doesn't really melt and ooze and act as glue, so our grilled cheese is less of a sandwich that is cohesive and more of a let's hope it stays together. Just another one of those times in life where you pray, but you know you're not gonna get what you need. I honestly think the smarter thing to do here is to break up our wheat crackers, and that way I can just put the cheeses into mini sandwiches. So you know, we have grilled cheese, we just don't quite have a grilled cheese. Still though, let's eat. This tray smells interesting. Okay,
Wow.
I present to you failed grilled cheese sandwiches.
They're not failed.
All right, dig in. I'm gonna try one plain, but I will introduce the sauces to you.
I can see why they're failed. Well, it's pretty. A couple.
Oh boy.
Oh, it tastes good. I could tell that by looking.
It's like perfectly salty, a little bit creamy. The crunchiness from the crackers and the oiliness, oily,
What did you just say?
and the oiliness from the crackers. What do you think about the tomato sauce?
Oh, super good.
Really?
Well, it's a new mommy bomb.
Do you know what's in this?
Tomatoes.
And
Sauce.
this tomato sauce has your grape jello in it. Can
Oh,
you
that's
taste
sick.
it?
Wow. Today was winners all around. Jim.
Really?
Oh, a giant. Look at this giant girl. Oh, I thought it was hiding under there. How much of the paneer did you use for this meal?
A quarter.
Oh, wow. That goes far.
Oh.
I'm glad I got that. This
Did you
is,
try the green?
yeah, I'm less into. It looks... The appearance is putting me off a bit.
This is with the blister shishitos. It's got a little bit of a bitterness and a greenness to it, like a salsa verde, kind of tomatillo vibe.
I'll give it another chance. I'll close my eyes when eating it, so...
I'll tell you what really makes it though. Lemon zest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's alright, for sure. But the tomato sauce is magic. This is fun. I really like all this. This is a 9. Especially with this tomato sauce.
I agree, the tomato sauce is amazingly good. The texture, nice and jammy. I'm sure the gelatin and the jello helped a lot.
With sherry gelatin in it.
The flavor is nice and sugary, but also tart from the lemon juice. And just overall, really satisfying to dip into. I agree. I'm gonna give these a 9 too. I mean, it's cheese and carbs, but it feels wholesome. I think day 2 was a resounding success. I think all of these dishes had something different to offer, and they were all delicious in their own respective ways, and I'm extremely delighted with myself. I'm gonna go to my meeting now, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hi all, welcome to our 3rd day. I woke up with a wrist in deep pain, so we're doing really great. We're turning 33. It's gonna be a great year. I can feel it in my bones and joints and everywhere else. We still have a lot of split peas. We also have a lot of lemons, a little bit of shishitos, and those cookies. And honestly, I just want a cookie right now, so let's taste one, shall we? How can you feel bad when it tells you to jam in? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, these smell so sexy. It smells like a combination of Smucker's lip balm, Barbie's hair, and that shampoo that the most popular girl in 6th grade used. I think it's pretty clear that my subconscious has never left middle school. We're working with like a golden Oreo situation here with a cream filling and a bonus jam side. So let's see if we can twist it off. Maybe? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Mmm. That was good. It kind of tastes like all of those aforementioned things, and it makes me feel like I could have been a popular girl in middle school. Dreams do come true sometimes. These are so delicious that I don't really want to f with them. I think they are just perfect on their own, but this being Budget Eats, we gotta f with them. This cream is really sweet. Call me crazy, but I think I want to bake a PB&J cake. We have those spicy peanuts, which we can grind into a peanut butter type situation. We still have frozen strawberries that are defrosting right now. We can pair it with our lemon and our jello to make some sort of a jam. We still have our chickpea cake mix. And we have these cookies that smell like my childhood dream come true, so they gotta be baked in there somehow. To start, I'm gonna place our strawberries in a small pot. I'm going to just let them melt and cook down, and then we'll whisk in our gelatin powder and cinch off the deal with a little bit of lemon juice to taste. Next, for our peanut butter, I'm just going to pour the remaining peanuts into my spice grinder and let it go until we have peanut butter. Spicy peanut butter? It works. Because I still want to use some part of this cake mix for another project, I'm only going to be mixing about half of it with water right now. So we're gonna need about 1.5 ounces of cake mix to 2 ounces of water. Watching this batter turn into a honeycomb candy consistency is probably the happiest I've felt all week. Take your joys where you can get them, right? We're gonna preheat our oven to 350. I'm going to take 4 small ramekins, fill them up with a cake batter. We're gonna dollop in our jam, our peanut butter, and then we're gonna plop a cookie right on top in the middle. For our first savory meal of the day, I'm thinking a Japanese curry with split peas and snap peas and all of our veggies. And because I loved how our roasted split peas turned out yesterday, when we have the oven on, I figured let's just roast some more. I snacked on these last night and they were just the bomb. Might crack my tooth on one of these sometime, but worth it. I'm going to pat them down with a clean towel, spread them out on a sheet tray, toss them with oil and spices, and just slide them in there until they're nice and crisp. When I tell you these cakes smell amazing, yep, they smell like my 8th grade dreams. That was before I had depression. Big dreams. While our cakes cool, let's move on to the curry. I'm going to wash and chop all of our veggies, including the carrots, the snap peas, some of our shishitos, and I'll also be chopping up some of our tofu as well. And I know you're wondering, June, what exactly is Japanese curry and how are you gonna make it? Well, I have this. I'm gonna use it. Am I breaking the rules? Technically, yeah, because I didn't pay for it. But also technically, it's kind of a condiment, so no? Does it make things any better if I tell you it has already expired and we should probably use it? But also very much taking this opportunity to let you know that if you have not experienced curry cubes in your life before, today's the day. Carpe diem, friends. To begin, in a large pot over medium heat, I'm going to melt the remaining broth fat. I'm going to gently throw all of our cut veggies in there along with the tofu. We're going to season it with salt, pepper, that's it. These curry cubes come with a lot of sodium, so I would just advise you to season very sparingly. Once our veggies look nice and sauteed, a little bit golden around the edges, I'm going to pour in our remaining split peas. I'm going to stir that around to evenly distribute around the pan, and then we'll stream in our remaining pork broth along with more water. Once your stock and your water are in, bring it up to a simmer, and once it's at a boil, we're gonna drop in our curry cubes. Depending on how much hypertension I want to give myself, I go between 2 cubes and 4 cubes. Your choice. We'll let it simmer away until the split peas are nice and creamy, but not quite fall apart yet. We'll pull it off the heat, and we'll serve it with our leftover cake. Speaking of cake though, I think it's time to try one. Get a little bite with everything in it. What a mess. First of all, holy cow, those peanuts are spicy. And second of all, it works so well with the super sweetness of the jam and the cookie. If you love PB&J as much as I do, and you like spicy stuff, and you like gooey textures and a little bit of crunch, this has it all for you. This has it all for you. There's a bit of that jam that was on the cookie that caramelized during the bake. It gives you almost like a shatteringly crunchy caramel. My God, that's good. I'm so glad I have 3 more to eat. Maybe I'll save none for Aaron. The jam basically baked into a thicker consistency on the bottom, and it is just so viscously pleasing. The peanut butter has basically melted into the jam and the cake. The biscuit is the only thing that remains itself, and even so, it has given in to the structure of the cake as well. We become one through cake. If you yearn for world peace, start your day with cake. Learn the meaning of coexistence. I'm gonna give this baby a 10. It deserves it. It's innovative, it's nice, it's pleasing, it's a little bit surprising, and most of all, it looks delightful. Look at that. Because despite what they tell us, looks do matter, y'all. You want some curry, Freddy? Are you a curry boy? Yum. To add a bit more richness, once your curry looks done, fold in some paneer, chopped. Japanese curry is one of my favorite smells in the entire world, and I am super excited for this bite. Despite placing 3 large curry cubes in there, it's not overly salty. I think because we just have so much of everything else going on, it really diluted that saltiness down. The split peas still have a little bit of chew al dente-ness, but no crunchy. The tofu is nice and tender, super flavorful with all of that curry flavor imbibed into it. Carrots are soft, the snap peas still a little bit stringy from that fibrous hull, and the bits of paneer, super creamy, super luscious. We got some nice spongy cakey bread. I'll just crumble it on top. I'm still not quite sure what it is about this cake mix, but there is that cheesiness coming through again, emboldening that flavor of the paneer a lot more pronounced than it was before. For a little touch of spiciness, we're gonna go with a little sprinkling of togarashi. I think this will complete the meal. As is, I'm going to give this meal an 8.2. I think it's really decent. It fills you up. It has all of your nutrients. But what if we just sprinkled a little bit of our Jell-O? You know, for chaos and experimentation. Science is important, y'all. I don't know what just happened when I added the Jell-O to this curry, but it changed it completely. It is now almost like a Chinese barbecue. It's giving me serious Hong Shao Rou vibes, which is red roasted pork, and usually it has sugar and soy sauce, and it's roasted, and it's perfection, and this is not anything like it, but tastes so much identically, eerily the same. With the addition of the Jell-O powder, I'm gonna up this dish to a 9 because the flavor is so unexpectedly edible. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. One thing I know for sure, we do have a lot of leftovers to eat. We're gonna pack it up so that Aaron can taste it later, and we're gonna move on to our third dish of the day. For our next recipe, I already know I'm gonna regret it. But as we are tasked with living the lives of Sisyphus, might as well make the boulder interesting every day. For the masochists out there, you know that pleasure is pain. Since we still have some shishito peppers left, I figured we could spin off of jalapeno poppers and make some shishito poppers. What I think I'm gonna do is take off the little stem tops, slice them in half lengthwise, and then we're gonna make a filling. Since jalapeno poppers traditionally have some sort of a cheesiness to them, I figured paneer, tofu, blended with spices. We still have one of these ramen packs. We might as well use it. As always, give it a taste. I think I'm really starting to like Ching's secret. It's good stuff, man. To make this recipe as tormented as possible, I'm going to mix up the rest of our Gits powder. For our cake batter, I'm just gonna sprinkle in a little bit of Sichuan peppercorns and a little bit of black pepper and a little bit of MSG. For a light dusting of flavoring, after our poppers get dipped into that cake batter, we'll be sprinkling on some crushed split peas. Once you have your creamy filling, it's time to fill your peppers as best as you can. Emphasis on the best as you can. Since we do have a lot of lemons we haven't used, I'm gonna brighten up the cheesiness with just a spritz We're gonna preheat our oven to 350 and then we're gonna start dipping our filled jalapeno peppers into our cake batter and then sprinkling them with our crushed split peas. Now would be a good time for me to remind you that when double dipping, use one hand for wets, one hand for dries. It'll look messy, but your coating will be on there. I'm gonna let it bake for about 15 minutes, see how it's doing, pull one out, taste one, go from there. In the meantime, I'm gonna fix myself a glass of lemonade with our half squeezed lemon and this leftover strawberry jam. It's a real pulpy affair. Cheers. I think we're gonna need to put the rest of this jam in. That lemon is sour. I think we could go 5 more minutes. Unfortunately, I already know these will taste absolutely horrendous once they're cold, so at least we get to enjoy it while it's fresh. Cheers. I will say this, it does not nearly feel fatty enough to qualify as a jalapeno popper. There's no really hint of heart disease. However, it does smell incredibly like a chicken nugget, which is delicious. I don't really taste the cake. I taste a lot of the pepper, and I taste a lot of the split pea coating. And while it's not the most luxurious junk food bite, I still think this is quite decent. So just imagine the healthiest version of a jalapeno popper without the spiciness and a hint of bell pepper that's turned a little bit bitter on the edge of feeling like it has heat, but it never quite made it there. And you have what we have here. I'm actually enjoying this quite a bit, especially with our condiments. It just completes the fast food vibe. I'm gonna give this an 8.9. I think if our exterior coating were any crunchier and snappier and more fried tasting, it would have been a 9.5 for sure. But the lackluster crunch is kind of dull and just sad. Nonetheless, I still think we came, we saw, and we conquered, and for a Wednesday, I think we did pretty well. So I guess I'll see you tomorrow for our final meal. You have before you the 3 items I made yesterday. We are ready for your taste test.
These are beautiful, June. They're so pretty. Your presentation is amazing too. You always think about presentation too. It's almost as if you're a professional chef. That's good curry.
Okay. Are you ready for the amendment?
Is this the cheat curry?
Yes. Okay, so you remember when you bought me this Jell-O powder?
Unfortunately.
And I discovered yesterday, you remember what that curry tasted just now?
No. Curry? It had curry flavor? Oh, that's so much! Do I eat it now?
Yes, you eat it now.
I eat this?
Yes, you eat this. Come on, Aaron. You can do it.
We ruined it.
No, we didn't. I gave it a higher score after I added the Jell-O. You don't think so?
It's been ruined.
What about the part that didn't get mixed in? Do you want to give me a score on that one then?
I already tasted which part this?
Underneath the bread, the part that was hiding. Okay, well, how about...
I don't want sherry flavored Jell-O.
It's not even
curry.
sherry flavored. It didn't even taste like sherry.
7 before the Jell-O,
Okay.
3 after.
Thank you for tasting.
Good cake though.
Okay. Do you want dessert next or savory app next?
Savory.
Let's go. So this is shishito pepper popper, and that's sriracha, ketchup, and mayo. You're not gonna taste one plain? Obviously, it's been sitting for a day, so it's not great, but...
My brain is mentally rewinding the popper to when it was fresh.
Where do I get that technology installed?
Outer space!
Oh.
What are they coated with?
They're coated with roasted split peas that were ground up into a flour. This.
Interesting. The coating threw me off originally because I was like, huh, this isn't the, usual panko coating that I'm used to.
Correct, because
in
we didn't
tempura.
have panko.
But then I remembered this is Budget Eats, and June probably did something weird. And that she did. Weird and creative and original and fun. But it's definitely a little mealier, because it's
I
pea
agree.
coating than tempura. But
Yes.
for what it is, not bad. You can tell because I'm just... I give this a... a good.
Can I have a number, please?
It's good.
Can I have a number so Vineet can put the animation up there?
What do you think good is out of 10?
Like 7.
Sure, let's go with that.
Okay, thank you. All right, sir, your final judgment is dessert.
And judgment you shall receive.
Still
It
looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you get some of the filling from the bottom of the cake?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
A bit dry.
Oh, you know what? We should probably warm it up.
It's been thoroughly nuked.
You can see the steam. Your gentle fingies, though.
My gentle fingers. My gentle lips. My gentle belly.
It's starting
This is
to
better. This is better. Yeah.
warm, right?
Yeah. That's good flavors.
Yeah.
Good texture. Now that it's warm, it's a
Yeah.
bit gooey.
Yeah, gooey, exactly.
Yeah.
We like gooey cakes.
We like gooey cakes, don't we, folks? Also a good.
Also a 7? So we just struck 3 lucky 7s. 777 across the board.
Play the lottery
Yay.
today, June. Here's a fun fact about June that you guys might not know. She loves scratch-offs.
I do.
What's your favorite scratch-off game?
I haven't played one in 10 years.
She hasn't played one. She loves.
But I like scratching things.
Despite not having done something in 10 years, she loves it.
I'm gonna finish eating Aaron's leftovers and then we'll talk today. Our final trash meal.
This is our final trash meal.
No. Welcome to our 4th day, and I think it's gonna be our last day today because I took inventory of everything we have left and we don't have much. We still have about a cup worth of meat that we pulled off from our bones. We have 3 whole lemons. We have about a cup of snap peas, 1 avocado, 1 cup of dried instant ramen, a 1/4 cup of paneer, 3 cups of split peas ground into flour, 5 pieces of our kakra, and some peanut butter. We also have 2.5 jam cookies left, plus our flavor maker pouch. Might be just snacks. I think the first thing we're gonna make is a stir-fried noodle with our pork and our snap peas. To begin, I'm going to throw all of our pork into a skillet over medium heat, wait for that fat to kind of render out, and then we're going to put in our snap peas. I'm going to go in with some fish sauce, some citron peppercorn, white pepper, and togarashi to flavor it all, and once those are nicely mixed in, I'm going to go in with our instant noodles. Now these are mostly broken, so they won't take that long to cook. I'm going to drizzle in as much water as is needed to get them to al dente. And as soon as they're cooked, we're gonna pull it off the heat, we're gonna fold in some chopped paneer, and we're gonna make our peanut sauce. I'll probably water this down with a little bit of soy sauce and water and make a peanut sauce to coat. One recommendation I have when making peanut sauce is to add your liquids gradually, otherwise you're gonna end up like me with chunky bits and just whisking forever. Learn from my mistakes. You're welcome. Eventually though, as with most things in life, you just gotta keep going at it and have patience, and it'll come out pretty okay in the end. We'll pour it into the pan, we'll swish it around, mix it, toss it, and then we have noodles. Definitely not the most photogenic thing I've ever made, but that's why we have toppings. Definitely doesn't make everything look better, but you know, covers up a little bit of the mushiness and the scrap piliness and the trash can vibes, and it adds a hint of orange, auburn, amber color. Just all the adjectives. What a delightful mishmash of textures. The snap peas are a little bit too crunchy and the snap peas are a little bit too fibrous, but the noodles, they're actually kind of perfect. The paneer gives it a nice creaminess, and the collagen and the fat that melted off of the meat just kind of coats everything in a little bit of an unctuous luxury. Yes, that was my stomach growling, and yes, this is definitely one of my better trash meals. Hashtag praise the trash meals. I think with all of the spices and the seasonings, we've hedged over a little bit on the sodium intake, but it's tasty. We can worry about high blood pressure another day, you know? Today, it's just for ramen noodles coated in salt. As is, I'm gonna give this an 8.8. I think it's a really decent meal. All the flavors are very pleasing, and besides the lacking aesthetics, it tastes pretty dang great. And I actually think the leftovers might taste even better. But wait, there's more. With our few ingredients left, I'm thinking we keep it simple and pay homage to my generational poster child of wastefulness, the avocado toast. We have the avocado, we have a toast of some sort, we also have cheese and a little bit of spiciness. As for the lemons, I think they're a lost cause this episode. To put a little bit of effort but not too much effort into this, I'm going to basically be using my hands to squeeze this cheese into a mush spread. We already know that paneer doesn't really break down much even after heating, so this is the best way for me to get a nice smooth spread. Washing more dishes than I have to on the last day of Budget Eats, y'all cray cray. For the avocado, you know the deal. Wash it, dry it, slice it, peel it. Could I also be using an immersion blender? Yeah, absolutely, but then I'd have to wash it. Okay, so it's not completely smooth, it's more crumbly. We'll roll with it. For a little hit of spice, a little last sprinkle of togarashi. Fun fact, this is the reason why my generation can't afford homes. The more you know. This is pretty fun. I could do this all day. Are we ready for this crunch? Now that is pretty delicious. Lightly flaky on that cracker, nice and creamy and soft when you bite into the avocado. But you know what it needs? You know what it needs. It needs flavor, baby. Never say no to flavor. Look at those darling granules of umami. Now be honest with me. Would you rather have a house or this delicious thing? You know what? I think we will use one of those lemons. A little bit of zest, a little bit of juice. Now that is lovely. I think I'm gonna give this one a 9.5. It's really nice. It's light, but also pretty substantial. It's got flavor, but not too punchy. It's just the right balance, which is everything I don't have in life. The lemon really brightens everything. It even makes the cracker taste more wheaty, which is a good thing, I promise. What do you think, Freddie? Not a big fan? Tell me what you think.
How do I eat this?
Just like you would food. Cheese, Freddie!
Cheese.
Cheese!
That was great.
You like it?
Mm-hmm.
How much would you pay for it?
$6.
And that's why we can't buy a house, Aaron.
Yeah.
Millennials and our avocado toast.
Oh, true. It's avocado toast.
How's the score, chef?
I like the flavor combos on that. No complaints really. That's a solid 8.1.
Ooh! Thank you.
Yeah.
How about you, Freddie?
Next dish?
Next dish.
Next dish. June said this was really good, so my expectations are very high. She did preface by saying it doesn't look good, but it tastes good.
Correct.
It is a bit gray.
Correct.
The noodles. Why is it gray?
It's instant ramen with pork, and that's it.
That makes it gray?
What else do you think it should be? First of all, color theory, that's beige, not gray, but okay.
I think you build my expectations up too much.
Okay, well, delete my intro and rewind.
Expectations deleted.
Thank
Okay, my first taste of this, and I have no idea what to expect. No, not for you. I didn't get them fresh, which is my fault, because I
Have a job.
have a job. But it's good. The flavors, I think, are overall good. Yeah, it's pork shredding, so it can't be bad. These are a bit too...
Stringy.
Yeah, they're a bit too big. It doesn't work as bite-wise.
Yes,
Feels
sure.
awkward.
Uh-huh.
But I understand this is the final day of Budget Eats.
Yes.
Which is usually when things get desperate.
Yes.
This, though, it's a good snack noodle.
I just need a grade, chef.
What's so hard?
A bone?
I got some cartilage.
Nice.
That brought it down about 0.3 just now.
Great. Just give me the grade. You're fired.
The final grade of Aaron Week Round 2 Budget Eats, the first one wasn't really a Budget Eats, is 6.9. We're going to go with nice. A 6.9 for this. The flavors are good, but I think it does feel a little desperate.
Say goodbye to the people.
Did you have fun, June?
I did.
June complimented me on my efforts earlier today, and
Yes.
June never gives a fake compliment.
It's true.
Literally
I think
never.
you did a great job shopping, and I thank you so much for setting the scene for us this week. And we had an easy, short week, and I'm sure Zach wants us to shut up right now. So, what
Bye.
words? Thank you so much for watching this episode of Budget Eats. I hope you enjoyed watching me fumble my way through Aaron's grocery haul. And until next time, I don't know, do some crazy in the kitchen for me, will ya? See ya. Oh, and drop me a comment down below about your favorite part of my kitchen, because I believe this will be the final episode that we will be shooting in this kitchen. Thank you so much for your last 2.5 years of watching me in my dingy little 90 square feet. We will miss you. Catch y'all on the other side.